Hey everyone, I'm back again and grateful to have you watching today's video. And today I've got another powerful message in the hope that it's going to really support you guys with whatever's going on in your life. We have all got challenges. We've all got these weaknesses, but I want to talk about today how we can convert any of our perceived weaknesses actually into not just strengths, but actually wake-up calls. And it's going to be a super empowering message, so stay tuned for today's message. So today, I want to talk to you guys about how to transform your weaknesses into wake-up calls. And the reason why I want to talk to you guys about this today, as usual, I've got something going on in my life that is alerting me to an area of growth that I need to focus on. And so my hope is, as usual, that if I share this with you from a personal note, that you guys can apply it indirectly to your own lives as well. So super excited about this one. And I can see Joelle's in the house. Haven't seen you in forever, my friend. Good to see you. And Judy's here too. Good to see you guys. So let's dive into it. So at the end of the day, we've all got these kind of weaknesses, right? And when I talk about a weakness, what I'm really talking about is not something that's wrong with you as a person, but actually just something that just trips you up. It gets in the way, and you have this tendency to, kind of be tripped up by this blind spot that you may have. Now, what we can do is the more we get awareness around what these weaknesses are, we're more able to actually transform them and use them as wake-up calls to make a different decision, to build the other side out. And so I'm going to use an example for you with from using me as an example. I'm usually the guinea pig here. And so what's actually happened in my life, and this has been a recurring pattern, like all of our kind of weaknesses are, but I've grown in my awareness of it to the point where I can actually articulate it and have a conversation around it with you guys now. But one thing that's been really top of my mind recently is I've had over and over again throughout my life, I've had certain challenges in my life from a relationship aspect where I have we could go down the whole rabbit hole as to why this has occurred, but my pattern has been to end up bringing maybe the wrong quality of person into my inner circle, and from that place, actually create a kind of relationship that would end up being a bit toxic, not healthy for me, not healthy for the other person. And so what I've actually done is used what's going on in my life right now. Like I've had a couple of recent relationship challenges. As you guys know, I ended a relationship back in March, and then somebody else came into my life who I maintained on a friendship basis, because obviously I'd just come out of a relationship, definitely not looking for one. And then that other person wanted something different to happen, and because they didn't get what they wanted, took my need to be single and need to focus on myself as a personal rejection, and responded in a very kind of aggressive way. Okay, so and then what's happened since then is that that person has actually tried to re-enter my life on a very, on a much more calmer, kinder note. And this has happened with other friendships and relationships that I've had as well. And it seems to me like every now and then, these people just tend to come out of the woodworks and tend to kind of connect with me in some way. I don't know, usually they've been blocked in multiple ways, but they always find some sort of opening in terms of how to connect with me and kind of reel me back in, because my weakness has always been kindness and thoughtfulness. And so what's happened in these different dynamics is I've settled for emotional harmony rather than what my actual needs were, right? And I've only just woken up to this, and I'm still waking up to it. I'm still on this path. But what I'm noticing, there's been a couple of different people who've been in my past, come back into my life, or try and come back into my life over these last couple of weeks, and been very kind and very nice. And I could feel myself, just be like, oh, I'd love to reconnect there, or I'd love to see what's going on in their world, and oh, that's so nice, and I could feel my pattern come up, and you know, and I know where that goes because I've been there where you've ended a relationship, a friendship, or an intimate relationship, or whatever dynamic it is. You've ended it because it was meant to end, right? It wasn't healthy. Things weren't going to grow, and you weren't going to be in alignment. And then that person's come back into my sphere, and then I'm like, oh, I'll open the door back up for that person. And then the same thing's happened, but it's been escalated, right? So the challenge at hand got escalated, right? So it became even a bigger problem than it was before because I opened the door to something that was supposed to stay shut. And so that's my weakness. Now I'm not just falling back into the pattern of, you know, settling for emotional harmony at the expense of what my needs, my values, and my vision is, you know, and I'm now able to put the brakes on and use my weakness as a wake-up call to go, hang on a minute. I know you love reopening doors when people are nice and kind, and you want to, you know, see the best in other people and, you know, kind of be all that idealistic. But hey, hang on a minute. You need a wake-up call right now because you've been down that path time and time again, and you know how that ends. So instead of succumbing to the weakness, how about we use it to wake you up right now and decide and determine and future project about, well, what are my options here? I could reopen that door, which I've done before and done multiple times, and I know the end result. It gets worse and worse and worse because you haven't learnt the lesson and you need the wake-up call. So you can continue to do it the hard way. You can wake up by falling into your old patterns, your so-called weaknesses, and, you know, getting the bigger and bigger wake-up call like we've spoken about, you know, get the little tickle of the feather, all right, you know, but if you miss that, you might get hit with the brick, and if you miss that wake-up call, then you might get taken out by the bus, right? So you can go the painful route, or you can choose your awareness of your pattern whilst it's a baby, you know, to wake you up and use your mind to future project about what that possibility is, what that pathway looks like, and then what are the other possibilities? What other choices could you make right now that would lead you in the direction of becoming a more empowered person, all right? And so that's my little example and how it applies to my life, because my biggest weakness is falling back into unhealthy dynamics in relationships because of my tendency to be a rescuer, my tendency to be highly idealistic and see the best and forget about the rest. And, you know, and I know where that path has led me. And right up to my current point in life right now, each and every one of those wake-up calls when I've gone and succumbed to my weakness has been an escalation from the previous one, to the point where I've had enough of the challenge, right? I don't want to repeat, and I don't want the challenges to get any bigger than what they are, right? Because it's gotten to that point. And so my hope is that me sharing this with you guys, you don't do me, and you don't, you know, go to the point of the bus taking you out in order to get the wake-up call, and you decide, you know, as of today, how about I notice what my weaknesses are, those patterns that I can succumb to that don't lead me in the right direction to where I want to go, and I'm going to use that as kind of the feather, right? I'm going to notice, I'm going to be aware, oh, that's my weakness or my pattern coming up right now. I don't even like calling it weakness, right? Because when you're weak, when you're aware of your weakness, it's no longer a weakness, right? It's the wake-up call. So that's the transformation that you can have. If you're unconscious to your unhealthy patterns, they are weaknesses. They are blind spots for you. So let's transform those blind spots, those weaknesses, into the wake-up calls that allow us to get back to choice point and make a better, more empowered decision about the pathway forward. So I hope that that will serve you. You've got to have awareness. You've got to transform it. It'll lead you to your fulfillment. Okay, so definitely want to check in with you guys, see who's been able to join me. Always love getting to check in with you guys. So if you've got any questions, comments, words of wisdom that you'd love to drop into the equation, I've literally got 3 minutes until I'm about to be on a just ticked over to 2 minutes till I've got to be on a coaching call. So I really want to check in with you guys quickly. I wish I had a little bit more time. So I'm going to jump in. I've got Joelle and Judy and DV and Lucy and Bina. Thank you for your beautiful wisdom. You're so welcome, beautiful. Always great to have you. And hello, beautiful Lucy. And much love to you, Joelle. And Jared's here and Lynn and David. Awesome. I can't wait to interview you in the Self-Connection in Isolation series coming up next week. So you guys are going to love the work of David Snyder. Go and follow his stuff if you haven't already. And Desiree, perfect timing. Thank you. I'm so grateful to hear that. And Joelle, that's my biggest problem, noticing those people so early in the friendships. Yeah, you've got to. You know, if you're like me, maybe, you know, a little bit there, Joelle, and it might be instead of being idealistic and falling in love with this amazing human being that you know nothing about, but they're amazing and you love them and that's so cool, right? Idealism, me totally. Instead, shift that, knowing that that's a weakness, knowing that you can succumb to that unhealthy pattern. Instead, transform it to the other side. Try and find the red flags. That's what I did recently, and it really did save me. It made somebody's true colors come out to the surface, you know, in a matter of weeks rather than my old pattern of years. I could have been, you know, inviting that person into my space. So you've got to look at it that way, and I love your sharing there, Joelle. Always good to see you, my friend. And Alexan's here, and DB, hello V. I hope all is well. Always good to see you. Always good to see you as well, DB. And Consia and Aaron and Joelle, have you ever made a bad call, meaning have you ended it too soon and only to realize it was a bad decision? Joelle, no. You know, I've made it go all the way, like so far past where it should have gone, and then I've coupled that with, if I have ended it, oftentimes I've reopened the door, you know, because of what we're talking about now, and it's even more so solidified why that needed to end, right? So sometimes it's helped me really move on because I have taken so long to get to the point of breaking that I know that I'm not just, you know, flying off the edge of the world just quickly without even thinking about it. But you will find that women tend to be more that way, and men tend to, you know, because women see things usually worse than they are, and men see things usually better than they are, and that's why you oftentimes end up in that dynamic where, you know, men didn't even see the relationship breakdown occur, like it didn't even see, it came right out of left wing for them, whereas the women have been like really working on, should I stay or should I go, what's healthy or what's not. We're usually seeing it worse than it is. Men are usually seeing it better than it is, and that's how we can have that discrepancy there as well. Justin's here as well, much love. And Jacob, good morning from Denmark, awesome to have you. And Julie's here as well. And DB, yes, I have been in the same boat, but you learn what not to do. Never look for love and let it find you. There's a big difference. Yeah, and DB, on top of that, don't just, if you want a great relationship, don't just sit on your butt on the couch either. Get clear on who you are. Get clear on what you value. Get clear on the kind of life that you envision for yourself and start moving in that direction. Move in the direction of becoming your best, most inspired self, and you'll attract people that you could potentially create something in total alignment with, and you'll also simultaneously repel all those who aren't going to be in alignment with you as well. So love that, DB. And Jared, yes, absolutely love this. I'm resonating deeply with this from personal experience also. Much love to you, my friend. I love that. And Joelle, my body hurts from those buses. Wake up, Joelle. I know. Tell me about it. Me too. I can be crippled at times. And DP, it was perfect. Thank you. Awesome. And Alexan, my biggest wake-up call is my not being able to say no and being too kind. Yes, absolutely, Alexan. Me too. Totally. So you've got to look at what's behind that, because that's a fear-driven response. Why do you have to not be true to who you are? Why do you have to not say no? What is it that you're fearing that you're going to lose as a result of stepping into your authenticity? All right, there's lots that I could be going into, but I'm running a bit late now for this coaching session, and I really want to fly through here, so I might have to come back to you guys, but I love your share there, Alexan. And Vanessa's in the house, and Lucy, best to keep keep those doors closed when you get to that point when it's not meant to, when it was meant to close. Absolutely, Lucy, you are spot on, beautiful. And Alexan, idealism sums up my weakness. I've got you, my friend. So it's about balancing out the other side. And the idea is we want to get to a place of realism. We don't want to see things better than they are. We don't want to see things worse than they are. We want to see things exactly how they truly are. All right, realism is the key here. And Kishan, hello to you, and much love. And DB, yes, I have done that, and am with the most amazing person in my world. Thank you. Oh, I love hearing that, DB. That's awesome. And Joelle, thank you, and have a good day. Enjoy your lesson. Thank you so much, Joelle. Appreciate you, my friend. As always, I'm sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really do hope that it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary, that you're doing something super empowering, and today's message has definitely served you. Thanks so much for everybody who could join me live and contribute to the conversation. You are so loved, you are so appreciated, and I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. See you then.